Welcome to the Cardboard Cave Podcast, the #1 show in Puerto Rico about trading card games. Thanks for Alter Sleeves for sponsoring our show. Use our affiliate link or code CardboardCave for 5% off your order and spice up your commander. Don't forget to follow us on our social media or listen to us in all major audio platforms. Thanks for being part of our community, and please like, share, and comment below. Plus enjoy the live show.
I am one of your hosts, John Ramos, and welcome to our show. Today we're going to be talking about the previews of Murders of, I keep saying Murders, but it's Murder of Karlov Manor, and I will be the one tonight being with you guys. The other Chris and JP are on their way, so don't forget to hit that share button and share our stream, and if you guys have not yet followed us, go ahead and follow us here at TikTok, because every Wednesday for now at 9 we will be going live for our podcast. It could be myself, it could be with the whole group, or it could be two of us, it could be not myself and the rest of the gang. But go ahead and go follow us, like that you guys can be up to date. We do have a goal. Our goal is to reach 1,500 followers. We're right now at 1,313. If we reach the 1,500 goal, we will be having an amazing giveaway for one of our followers here at TikTok. And if you did miss our show, it's fine, because you can still watch our show, let it be on YouTube, or listen to it on your favorite podcast format the next day. So that'll be tomorrow. Okay, so one more thing before we go ahead and continue. Go to... Oh, it does not let me... Oh, that sucks. But if you... if you guys go hit the link that it's available on our profile. I think I've been muted all this time. Okay, here you go. I think we're now working. We're working. Oh God, what? I've been quiet all this time. That was funny. Yeah. I think you guys could listen to me either way, but let me go ahead and once again tell you guys, thank you for joining us tonight. This is our second podcast of this year. Our first episode is already available on YouTube and as well on the audio format. Tonight, for now, is going to be just me. The gang is still trying to log in, like that we can go ahead and talk about the murder at Karlov Manor, the previews, and much more. As well, I do want to mention that if you guys if you guys go ahead and share this live stream, or go ahead and follow us on TikTok, like that we can reach our 1,500 goal. If we do reach 1,500, we will go ahead and provide a giveaway for a lucky viewer or fan of the Cardboard Cave podcast. As well, I do want to tell you guys that we have an Alter Sleeve account. So if you guys can go ahead, go to altersleeves.com /Cardboard Cave, or go to our link tree and it will be available there. Like that you guys can go ahead and spice up your commander or your deck with the Alter Sleeves. As well, I was gonna say something else and I totally forgot. What was it? Usually I do have artwork to show you guys, but yeah, I was not able to provide you guys. So let's talk about Murder at Karlov Manor. The previews started yesterday, and if you guys do follow us on TikTok, we keep you up to date to all. We will provide you everything and anything preview-wise of this upcoming set. But that's not the only thing that we will keep you updated. As well, anything that happens in the Magic the Gathering community, we will keep you updated as well. So that is something that we do want for all of you. And I'm going to do something while being live, because I totally forgot to do this before. But it is a great night today. These past few days, in regards to previews, there are some very, very nice and intricate, nice, interesting previews. As soon as Chris and JP enter, we will go ahead and add them and ask them about the set. If you guys are here with us, what do you guys think about the set? Are you guys excited? Do you like the previews that you are seeing right now? Actually, just to let you know, I don't have a picture of it, but we do have a group, a Magic the Gathering group here in Puerto Rico. It's our huge play group, and they went ahead and they noticed something about the full art lands. Let me see if I can find it. It was an actual post of one of our friends. Let me see if I can find it. Because they did notice something in the lands. Was it here? Yeah, it was here, because can't find it. Oh, here it is. So they say that in the full art lands, if you look at the in-between of the lands, it says RNA 32 times 5 plus 4. So if you guys go ahead and look for the full art lands of the new lands that we are getting, that we are going to have in this set, the lands have RNA 32 times 5 plus 4. And if you guys see, the artwork looks amazing for these full art lands, and they have like a thread, like if they were like a ley line. So it's really cool. And then the thing is that one of our friends went ahead. Let me see if I can show in chat. Here we go. So one of our friends said RNA is the code. That was JP. JP go ahead and said that the code RNA is Ravnica Allegiance. 3-letter code is RNA. And then if you do the math equation, right? The math equation goes in a total of 164. And when you go ahead and look for the art or the card number, is Cult Guild Mage, that it's a black and a red creature human shaman. And in the artwork, the Cult Guild Mage has a Jace imprinted in the art. A Jace. So technically speaking, this is just giving us a hint that Jace is practically back, I would say. But that is where it gets interesting. While JP and Chris make it, right? So in one of the artworks, in Intrude on the Mind, that is 2 blue, instant. It's a mythic. There is a cape character with the detective there as well. And it says that it's a story. Let me see if we can get the artwork bigger. It says story spotlight. So the card says the following: reveal the top 5 cards of your library and separate them into 2 piles. An opponent chooses one of those piles, put that pile into your hand and the others into your graveyard, and create a 0/0 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. Then put a +1/+1 counter on it for each card put into the graveyard this way. So sadly this card is not as bonkers as I thought it would be, but still it's a card that I would say that it's amazing. So let me go ahead and minimize this here. Continue here. So since the 16th, that was yesterday. Since the 16th, sorry, we have technical difficulties. So we're gonna go ahead and go to dates, because if you guys know, this type of yeah, I think it's because I have a bajillion things open. StreamYard is going nuts. So let me go ahead and refresh the page. There we go. Okay. Sorry for this. The thing is, guys, just to let you guys know, it's we have been trying to get our stream key, and sadly, to get our stream key, we need to be like in an agency approved by it has to be approved by TikTok, and then from there, by that approved agency, we can get the whatchamacallit, the stream key, and it's much more easier for us. And one of the reasons that's why one of the reasons that, you know, it's kind of it is kind of difficult for us to have the podcast made or make our dues the correct way. It's due to that small it's due to that small issue. Okay. So this means that I will, if you guys see that I go on and out, that's just because, even though I did learn something new, hotkeys are the best. I'm sorry if you guys, sorry if you see me sweating a lot, that is just because Jesus is really hot here in my office, and I still don't have an AC. That AC is coming, I hope that in the next few months. But let's go ahead. So they did spoil a bunch of cards. I thought that they were going to spoil just a couple, but due to the fact that sometimes when they go ahead and preview cards and they are assigned, sometimes the assigned creator or page goes ahead and they have a bajillion previews to provide. If you guys go to our TikTok, on our TikTok we do have what is called the list of creators that, give me 1 second. So in this case, like I was saying, when we have this type of like preview season, when preview season starts, most of these previews do get presented with a couple of cards or with a lot of cards. So that's why when you go ahead and see this, when you go ahead and see these type of things, this is where things get interesting, because a bunch of previews are going to be available. They previewed yesterday the 4 commander decks, the special guest, more cards from the Clue edition. That's one of the products that I'm actually very looking forward to. I do hope that I can get it at a good price, because I have seen that in pre-orders is pretty high. And then we have a couple of cards, a couple of rares, a couple of mythics. The most interesting part is that they literally previewed all of the lands, the rare slot land that this set will have, that we will be talking about in a few. Let me go ahead and put myself in the big factor. So what do you guys think about this set? I'm really excited about this set. I'm really excited that this set has a sense of a story that is solving a mystery of who killed who. Inside the set, in the previews, there's a lot of cards that have been previewed with certain characters already eliminated, not to use another word, that have been already eliminated as well. Not only the fact that they have been eliminated, but in the story, if you go ahead and go to the Wizard of the Coast website, you can read the story, and in the story will give you more details as well. They do say that there is details in the video promotions that they are doing frequently for this set. They are actually doubling down a lot with this set. I don't know if it's because they wanted to bring something different to the table. Probably WotC wanted to try something with this set to see if it works, and if it does work, they can do it for future sets. But it all depends, because Wizards of the Coast is doing so many things differently, including Secret Lair, that we don't know. Even though we do know what's coming up for this upcoming year, I mean, not for this upcoming year, for this year, my bad, for this year, there are still certain things that throughout the year can be changed. So what does that mean? That means that there is a high chance that something might change in the process. Anything can happen. I think that's what I would say. Anything can happen this year within Magic the Gathering. And Magic the Gathering continues being an amazing card game. Let me check if by any chance any of the guys are in. Nope, not yet. Thing is, I do want to continue but I don't want to talk about the cards alone. But at least, I gotta say that this set does bring interesting mechanics. It brings amazing lands. That's one of the things that I will mention tonight. The lands, I love them. They are an amazing version of the Scrylands. And why do I say this? Because one, these lands are versatile. They have basic land types, and it's good to fetch. And as well in the Commander format, that's something I will say. The Commander format is it will be great for the Commander format. So that's one of the things that I would say that it's amazing about those lands. As well, I will say that the special guests, even though we're still early in the special guests are completely like it's, I would have preferred more than what we're getting now. And I'm not gonna lie. I really do hope that the special guest is way better than what we're getting now. I really do hope so. I don't know. Whoops. If you are watching us and you guys want to join in the podcast, just request it. And I think that we will get the notification here in our live studio here in the computer. So if we do get it, we can go ahead and add you like that. You guys can give us your piece of tea in regards to the MTG Karlov Murders at Karlov Manor set. Okay, we got the. Give me 1 second. Hey, what's up, JP?
Hey, what's up? I'm good.
That's good. Let me go ahead. So, we have not yet touched the cards, so we're good in that part.
Oh God.
Yeah. What do you?
I have such a big rant for one of them.
Oh God.
Maybe not
really?
a big rant. Maybe not a big rant, but hopefully, I have a gripe with the card, the specific card, and I am very sad with one of them.
Yeah, we got this. Even though
the commander decks.
Yeah, these are the commander decks. We're doing them in order of release or preview, right? So JP, before we continue, due to the fact that we are in day 2 of the previews, because this is gonna go up to, I think it's until the 23rd of January, if I'm not mistaken. What do you think about the set so far?
So I like the idea that they were heading in. I don't particularly enjoy the execution as much. Let me give you an example. This set is it's not a smaller set, but it's a set. If I'm not mistaken, they mentioned it as a reminiscent of Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt, the 2 smaller sets from Innistrad.
Mm-hmm.
This is just supposed to be this story set, and it's not necessarily smaller, but it's supposed to be kind of small. At least that's what they mentioned. So in terms of that, then they have a theme, just like how Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt had a theme. But unlike those didn't hit their theme hard enough. A lot of people were kind of disappointed at Crimson Vow having Midnight Hunt having a few good vampires and a lot of good werewolves, which was like, okay, just a few vampires that are good and a lot of werewolves are good because it's the Midnight Hunt. And so the Crimson Vow, the wedding,
Mm-hmm.
basically, it would be more focused on the vampires and then just a teensy bit of the werewolves, because just to mirror the other set. And it kind of didn't. I think there's exactly 1, maybe 2 werewolves in the entire set of Crimson Vow.
Yeah, I remember.
Where I'm going with this is that the themes were a bit mismatched and unbalanced with each other. The cards and the set were pretty well done, but the themes were mismatched and unbalanced. In this set, I think they've gone a bit too hard on it.
Okay.
The theme is too prevalent. Everything cares about clues. There's too many things that care about clues.
But JP, first we got treasures, now we got clues.
No, like see, every other card can care about clues, but every card, that's one of my main like problems is what one card, why is it tied to clues? It makes no sense that it is tied to clues. Maybe story-wise, and that's a stretch, that's a big stretch.
Okay, I understand. So let's go ahead. I don't. We're still waiting for Chris. Chris will go in. Probably. I hope that he does not have computer troubles like he had, like happened last week. But let's go ahead and talk about this set. So, Murders of Karlov Manor, they did preview the 4 commander decks that will be provided for all of you. A lot of people actually...
Did they preview the entire deck lists?
No, only the 4 commanders. Deck list, I think that one of the deck lists, or 2 of them, is Command Zone. Command Zone has 2 of them, but that won't be previewed, I think, until next week.
Next week.
Yeah. And I did tell everybody that if you guys are looking for the list of creators and the dates, it's available on our TikTok. The video of the list, the full list of everything that the creators that are previewing cards. So JP, these are the 4 decks, or the 4 commanders. If you want, I'll take 2 and you take 2. I'll
take the first 2.
You'll take the first 2? Okay, I'll get the last 2.
Those are the ones I'm most excited for.
Okay, go ahead.
So we got Cowst Eyes of the Glade, a hybrid mana for white and red, and the green. So it's 2 mana for a 2/2 legendary creature, Dryad Detective. Whenever a creature you control that was turned face up this turn deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. And you can tap Cowst to turn target face down attacking creature you control face up. That ability with a lot of old morphs is really, really good.
Yeah.
I have a friend that had a Cadena deck, and the cards got damaged, and he had to scrap the entire deck. They got water damaged.
Okay.
And he has a lot of the morph cards. Morph cards are very good for this, especially the expensive morph cost transformations. There's one that's 7/7 that you pay 5 and 2 green to flip it, and you put a creature from your hand into play. You could do that as early as turn 4, maybe 3. If you turn 1 cows, if you're playing fast mana, turn 1 cows, turn 2 the morph. Even then, it's a turn 2 cows, turn 3 morph, turn 4 you're attacking, flipping it, and putting something into play because of the one I just mentioned.
Yeah.
A lot of the mega morphs. There's a lot of morphs in general. And something cool that I learned recently about morphs: cards that let you cast from the top of your deck let you cast it for its morph cost. That's 1. 2. Mystic Forge specifically lets you cast from your deck if it's colorless, but it allows you to cast morph costs.
Oh.
So you could even run Mystic Forge in this type of deck.
Nice.
I find this one very, very, very interesting, because morph is this type of mechanic that is very old school Magic. It is very much slower. It's a slower type of game. It's always very tricksy. You always you're always paying 3 mana for your creatures. Once you're at 3 mana and above, your deck basically runs already. So you don't really have to spend a lot of mana and a lot of cards to do a lot of the stuff that you want to be doing anyways. I really enjoy this type of mechanic, and it's being a Dryad Detective because it turns target face down attacking creatures you control face up. You are uncovering. It is very flavorful that way too.
Yeah. It is.
You're discovering the card. You're uncovering it. It's your disguise. Let's take off that disguise.
I agree.
Disguise being one of the new mechanics. I was very, very excited for that. The second card is Mirko, Obsessive Theorist. 1 blue and a black for a 1/3 legendary creature vampire detective. Flying Vigilance. Whenever you surveil, put a +1 counter on Mirko, Obsessive Theorist. And at the beginning of your end step, you may return target creature card with power less than Mirko's from your graveyard to the battlefield with a fatality counter on it. So, one, I thought Mirko Vosk was dead, lore-wise, because it was mentioned after he kind of failed in the maze as a maze runner. It's in the Dragon's Maze. They I think Lazav tried to kill him. So I thought he was dead. I'm surprised he's alive. And the second thing is this is Demir Marin.
Demir Marin, you think?
Marin of Clan Neltoth. This is
Okay.
Demir Marin, basically. A lot of people say Surveil is limited, but a lot of people don't understand that a bunch of cards, and I mean a lot, got errata to be Surveil. So an example being Search for Ascanta.
Yeah, it says surveil. Yeah,
It's now the Oracle text says Surveil 1. So I'm assuming a lot of these cards that got errata are going to be in the deck. Mirko is one that I'm very much excited for. Just think about turn 1 entomb something with 2 power or less, or like with 1 power, with 1 power that you want to bring back, or 2 power. Just a lot of the entomb effects. Then you play a Search for Ascanta. Then you play this. You don't even have to ramp. You can just go on curve. If you have a lot of the Surveil, then put in the graveyard. So then Surveil, then draw. Surveil, you fill your graveyard in order to fuel his ability to bring them back. The finality counter is not as relevant as I think it will be. There's going to be plenty of creatures you're going to be able to just, reanimate with this. And it cares about Mirko's power, so you don't have to use the Surveil mechanic. You can just pump him with something like Hatred and just keep on going. There's an enchantment that gives +3/+3 and goads it or something like that, and you don't really care anyways. You just pumped him to a 4/7 or 4/6, and after that you just kind of start reanimating your graveyard.
Okay. I think I have. I don't think it's an exclusive, but I'm gonna say it now. Well, it was posted yesterday, and this was not available on the previews, and I did not see it in any social media platform. But to let everybody know, there we go. Not me, Jesus. I'm still getting used to this. Give me one. There we go. So okay. So apparently, JP. So pre-release is February. The pre-release is from February 2 until the 8th for the murders at Karlov. These are the promos for. Okay, give me 1 second. I think that is the one. Share.
Is it the promos for the game day?
So for the
game day promos,
these are the promos.
Not that.
So the promos: Urza, Prince of Karlov, Deadly, Dispute, Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose, and Davin Vito. I love the artwork for Davin Vito.
That Davin's Vito looks really good.
I know, right?
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, I think the Deadly Dispute is going to be the most expensive one.
I agree. Yes.
It is very much used in Pauper.
Mm-hmm. I think it's used in I think in almost all formats, if I'm not mistaken.
And I don't count Commander because anybody goes,
oh yeah,
I like this in Commander, just shuts it in. So
yeah, but no, I think this is used. I think in certain like budget modern decks. I think it's used in Pioneer as well. But it's a great card. Actually, if it weren't for the reprints of this card, this card would still be like a $4 or $5 card if there was no reprints, because it was an expensive uncommon by the time. But that's not the thing. So we got the additional pre-release promos. That these are the ones that a lot of people were mentioning. That they are. I think that some of them are kind of broken for the pre-release, and apparently you can't use them if I'm not mistaken, or you can. But this is where it gets interesting. From February 10 until March 31st, Standard Showdown is back, and your promos will be full art lands. Standard Showdown is back.
Also, there's a little person hidden in all of the arts. Yeah, there is a little person hidden. Like you could mostly see it in the swamp and the island. That's
I see somebody here.
People are assuming that's Jace.
Yeah, I already explained to our listeners or viewers about what you found out in the lands.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't find it out.
Who
I saw someone found it out, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool. This is really cool."
Okay.
And posted it.
Okay.
But I'm not the one. Like I'm not that smart.
Come on. So
it's RNA 32 times 5 plus 4. That adds up to 164 in RNA's Ravnica Allegiance, and the card for Ravnica Allegiance 164 is a Rakdos Cultist or a Cult Guild Mage.
Yeah.
And he's holding a puppet Jace. So.
Yeah. I saw it. Okay, so Standard Showdown is back. That's great. Thank you, Wizard of the Coast. You're giving. I'm not a standard player, but this is we're going in a good path. The only thing that you guys are missing is Friday Night Magic. That has to come back. Okay, but this is where it gets interesting. The Murders at Karlov Manor Store Championship. This is something. This is something that we have not seen in a couple of the sets, and if we have seen them, due to the lack of probably competitive play, and I'm only mentioning this here in Puerto Rico because there's most of the local game stores that do competitive play are basically in the metro side and rarely on the west side. And I live in the south, so in the south there's no competitive play at all. I hope that changes in the future because of what I mentioned before on the last podcast. But the 3 cards that are going to be part of the championship is that you will get a Mortify full art. I imagine that's going to be non-foil. There's no details here, but probably they will give more details. So Mortify in the full art. I love the artwork. It looks amazing. Angel of Despair for the top 8, and then the store champion will get a Dottie Voidwalker text list. That Dottie is going to be bonkers expensive.
But that's not the point. I think this is just another Cryptic Command situation.
You think?
John,
yeah.
Can you tell me what Cryptic Command does in order? Because the modes happen in order. What does Cryptic Command do?
Oh, dang. I know that. I don't know them in order. I know that one of them is counter draw. Counter draw. Is the other one bounce? I don't remember. I know those two that you can draw a card and counter spell. It costs 4 mana. It costs 4 mana. It's 3 blue and 1 if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So you got three of them basically.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Counter target spell, then return target permanent to its owner's hand, then tap all creatures creatures your opponents could control, and then draw a card. That's the problem with these borderless cards. Sometimes they have so much text that you won't remember, and You need to find you need to learn these cards. So can you tell me what Doughty Voidwalker does, specifically? Because there's a
Jesus.
specific wording.
Ah.
See, that's you start understanding my problem with this.
Yeah.
The art is beautiful, but I might know what Doughty Voidwalker does,
But you know,
but maybe another person won't.
But you know what? I'm gonna jump on that note. That's something that I have not yet done the TikTok video, but I was cruising in our TikTok like I usually do, because one of the things that I would like to do with the TikTok is we have a community, and I would like to expand it, like that we can have more viewers or more collabs in the future for our Commander games and whatnot, right? So I was just scrolling down the TikToks, and I saw this video of somebody that we'd follow that stitched it, and it's about there's this creator that talks about proxies, the fact that creator does not like proxies due to that some people that do proxies look for like very alternate arts, like for instance Chandra, instead of being Chandra being another character, let's say Dark Magician Girl, Liliana being let's say Lucifer, for instance, that people look for like very alternate arts that are not keyed with other artwork that's available for the card, right? So I understand that part, but the fact that these cards are available, right, these full art textless cards, it trumps anything in regards to proxies because they already exist. Cryptic Command has his own textless artwork. Well, there's a couple of cards that have textless artwork. It was very popular back in the day in Magic, in certain old sets. But I would say, like, hey, if you do have a good quality, or if you do have I do have one here that I printed out. I hope that I don't touch anything that disconnects something. But for instance, I do have this. I printed it out a couple because I thought I didn't have the card, but I did. But the camera's not gonna focus on it because the autofocus is not posted. But there's an Arbor Elf, and the cutting is horrible. My bad, but it's understandable, and it's an artwork that's already available. I do understand the fact that people don't like proxies, but what do you think about that? The fact that we have textless cards and people are still arguing in regards to having like alternate artwork for the proxies.
I feel like it's understandable to an extent. The extent being on how altered the art can be. So because people change the name of a card sometimes and don't put the name under it, a la Godzilla style.
Yeah, exactly.
How it says like the name of the card, and then under like it says Godzilla Lord of Monsters, and then it says like the actual Godzilla card, the actual MTG card. That can be a problem because some people recognize cards by sight, and it's just like a see it and forget it type of thing. I am one of those people sometimes, as in I see a card, I know what it does, okay, perfect, I'm good. But
give me 1 second, let me turn off the light of my office because it feels like I'm cooking myself in here. Give me 1 quick second, but you continue talking about the proxies.
So, again, it just depends on how severe the altered is. If it's altered beyond recognition, then it becomes a problem. If it's altered for the art and then you change the name, but then have the name presented in other thing, then it's fine.
No.
Otherwise, it's just fine.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like, there is a proxy card that I do want to get because there's this artist that does sell that you can commission it. but I think that I've spoken with you guys when we see each other, that I would like to have like the pilot tokens and Shurikai to be themed out with Neo Genesis Evangelion.
That's a good one. Yeah.
But I obviously have the real card with me because I don't want to confuse people. Like, hey, that's not the correct card.
I mean, when using a token, that's fine because a token is just supposed to be a representation. Even in large tournaments, when they don't have the token available with them, the judge will use a card. A judge can use a card to represent that token. As long as the parties agree that token is what it is supposed to be, then it is fine.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I just gotta say, I'm not against proxies. I'm somebody that uses proxies a lot to finish commanders, and I will make a disclaimer, like always, if you do get a proxy of a card, unless it's like a very, 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 very expensive card, like a Tundra, Grim Monolith. Even though you can get Grim Monolith as a proxy, but Wizard of the Coast proxy with the championship with the gold border for like $12. But if you're gonna like proxy cards that you need for a commander to test it out or anything, do it, because I know that if for myself and us, we understand that we don't have the money in the moment to buy a very expensive card like a Mana Crypt or something like that, but always support your local game store, and always buy the legit card if you have the chance, but they can go ahead and switch out that proxy for a legit one. Or something that you can do, that is something that I do in my commander decks, due to the fact that I have basically all the important artifacts for commander. What I do is that I just switch them out when I feel using one of the decks. I go ahead and switch them out. I have a token or a proxy that has the name of the commander, and I go ahead and switch them out like that. I can go ahead and it's a much more easier in the future. So let's go ahead and continue with talking about the set, because by my fault talking about something else always. Jesus. Okay. Why isn't this working now? Oh wait, if I don't share a screen, it's never gonna yeah. We're professionals, like Orengo would say. Okay, boom. There we go. Shift 7. Okay, so we were talking about the commander decks, or the commanders. So I'm gonna go very fast with the next two. The next one is Morska Undersea Sleuth. Is green, white, and blue legendary creature Vidalcan Fish Detective. You have no maximum hand size. At the beginning of your upkeep, investigate. So that means that you will be getting a clue at the beginning of your upkeep. And as well, he's a 2/3 enhanced. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Morska Undersea Sleuth. This card seems pretty fun. I think is interesting for an interesting build for this, a deck that you can draw, and plus you have the correct two colors to the correct two colors for drawing. So you got green and the blue.
Except all you need is one card, a Consecrated Sphinx, and passing the turn. Draw 2. Oh, you're gonna draw? I draw 2 +1 counter. You're gonna draw 2 +1 counter.
Exactly. I completely agree. So let's go to the next one. It's Nelly, a Borka Impulsive Accuser, is 2 and Boros, legendary creature, human detective. This detective has vigilance. Whenever Nelly Borka Impulsive Accuser attacks, suspect target creature. Then go all suspected creatures. Whenever one or more creature an opponent controls deals damage to one or more of your opponents, you and the controller of those creatures each draw a card, and it's a 2/4. I don't see the fun of it, but sure. Do you see the fun of it?
I just saw the tweet of Seth from MTG Goldfish calling this the honorary Twitter card. You're just like, it's the impulsive accuser. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
But there's nothing like it's fun, as in a suspected creature remains suspected forever, if I'm not mistaken. So it could add up.
Actually, yeah, a suspected creature has menace and can't block.
It'll always be suspected after that. So
it's interesting.
That's actually quite interesting. Yeah,
it's interesting. So let's go ahead. So in regards to, I think that each upcoming set will have these special guest cards. The special guest cards is we have Drowning the Lodge, Gamble, Tireless Tracker, Field of the Dead, Victimize, Ghostly Prison, Fabricate, Show and Tell, and Tragic Slip.
I did not see this at all. I love Gamble. Oh my god!
Do you like the cards that we're getting right now for the special guest? Gamble has already been reprinted a bajillion times.
Yeah, but like they're just printing like iconic cards, and a lot of these are actually quite relevant in Commander.
Oh, I know. This one is pretty expensive, so another reprint is not that bad. Fabricate has a bunch of reprints. And recently,
Show and Tell isn't really expensive at all.
Yep, that's true. Tragic Slip as well.
Tragic Slip is a common.
Victimize, I think
Victimize is an uncommon.
But one of the good things is Field of the Dead is here. Field of the Dead is still like a $15 card, and this can help at least the price. Gamble, I think I do still have like a couple in our
$5 card.
I think I do still have a Gamble. I mean, do I have? Let me see. I think so.
I think I have a Gamble of every art except the Judge promo one.
Oh no, those already got sold.
Yeah. So I might be getting this one. I love Gamble.
No, the artwork in this Gamble looks amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Tireless
Victimize
Tracker
is probably my favorite art there.
Tireless Tracker is amazing too.
Good.
Okay, give me 1 second. Yeah, no. I think Chris is not gonna be with us tonight.
How they printed Tireless Tracker with the landfall ability. Like it specifically says it's a landfall ability.
Yeah, I like it. I do hope that any other special guests that we get or cards, right, are interesting ones. You know, we've been getting interesting ones since the last set. Well, the one that's still running, the last Ixalan, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Okay, so the next cards that have been previewed are the Clue Edition cards. We have Land, and we had the Rusty Pipe. Now we have the Knife. We have Lavinia, Foil to Conspiracy. That's one of the cards that was presented for this Clue set. If you don't know, listener or viewer, the Clue set will have exclusive cards, if I'm not mistaken. So they will only come in this Clue-ish game. And as well, you will get a promo non-foil Shockland that will have artwork of one of the rooms of the Clue game. So we have Lavinia, Foil to Conspiracy. I don't know if you want to read upon these two cards, JP?
What?
Do you want to talk about these cards, or you want to jump into the grind?
There's nothing specific about these cards that come to mind. They're just exclusive cards. They're nice. The Clue set is going to be cool and interesting, but nothing specific that I want to say about that.
You know what I expected more about if they would have done the clue thing, I would have expected Wizard of the Coast, instead of doing like a clue edition, I would have expected a secret layer of clue.
Hey, they announce secret layers at all moments, and they could
You
have
imagine?
they could have a surprise secret layer. Yeah. The thing also is that we're kind of in a transitionary period within the secret layers.
Yeah.
Since they are now currently going from print to demand to limited print runs.
Do you think that that's a good idea?
That's a bad idea. It's an extremely bad idea.
I
The,
completely
the
agree.
main reason why they said, "Oh, let's do limited print run instead of print to demand," was because people were like, "Oh my god, my secret layer is taking forever to get here." It's like, yeah, they need to wait until the period, wait the period of the sale, and then start the printing and or the shipping. And people just got people just got impatient, and now going back to this limited print run, they're gonna have like secret layers are gonna be the same price, but then now you have to fight for your position to get the secret layer, and then they're gonna hike up the prices
Mm-hmm.
of the cards that are being printed. Meanwhile, secret layers were consistently being good reprints and trying to, even if it didn't succeed at all moments, but they were very good at maintaining cards at a lower price. And this
Actually,
just doesn't do that at
you
all.
can get the the pre-orders, the OG ones. You can get all of them. I think the secret layer, not sealed, but you can get them individually. I think you won't waste not even $20 or $25. Elish Norn with the Phyrexian lettering foil. Was it that one that I sold recently? Yeah, I think that was the one that I sold recently. I think I sold all of them because I put them in the TCG Player Store. I think I sold all of them for, I think the most expensive one was Vorinclex. It was like $5. So yeah, it's sad. It's sad that some of them got lowered in value. So let's go ahead and move to what we actually want to talk about. So let's start with these two cards. We're not gonna go through all of them. We're gonna go through the rares and mythics, because if we go through each one of them, we will be here until 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's not what we want. Plus, we want you guys to be able to enjoy a good audio podcast. So, JP, do you want to take the first one, and then I'll take Kaya?
Okay, just give me just a tiny bit as I sort this.
No problem.
It's Judith, Carnage Connoisseur. She's 3 and a black for a legendary creature, human shaman. She's a 3/4. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, choose one. That spell gains Death Touch and Lifelink, or create a 2/2 red imp creature token with, when this creature dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. She is very... She's not gonna... I don't think, like... Okay. We're going through formats. I'm not sure how viable a 5 mana 3/4 that does nothing when it enters, and then you have to wait to cast a spell will be. But I do know that, if I'm not mistaken, will Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt, did that already rotate?
I don't think so.
If that hasn't rotated, then End the Festivity becomes a board wipe. It's a 1 mana, 1 damage to everything, except yours, like everything on your opponent's side, and this gives it Death Touch. So you're gonna gain a bunch of life, kill everything on board, and after that, once she basically stabilize with her in play.
Maybe in limited it's not, but in Commander sounds interesting.
Yeah, but anything in
Uh,
Commander can be also interesting.
well,
The
that
thing
is
I
true.
will
That is
say,
true.
the thing I will say in Commander is people will kill you first. This
Yes.
is the type of card that makes people angry. So that people don't like having their board wiped, but people are generally okay with it because they understand it is part of the game.
Hmm.
But that novelty of it being part of the game will end real quick when you do it for the 5th time in a row.
I completely
So,
agree. I completely agree, man.
so this will be this will say the salt with this commander, like with this legendary creature as a commander, will be very high.
Yep, I agree. I agree. So next card is a Planeswalker. If you guys have been following us, uh, long, as long as possible from the start, you guys would know that I love Planeswalkers. So Kaya Spirit's Justice is 2, white and black. Legendary Planeswalker Kaya says whenever one or more creatures you control and or creature cards in your graveyard are put into exile, you may choose a creature card from among them. Until end of turn, target token you control becomes a copy of it except it has flying. It has +2 that says surveil, then exile a card from a graveyard. +1, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. -2, exile target creature you control. For each other player, exile up to one target creature that player controls and has 3 loyalty. I like it. It sounds interesting. I don't know. It's interesting. It's not wow factor, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this guy.
Really? Why?
Just I don't feel like it does much. Like it's trying to do its own mini game, and it doesn't. I don't feel like it provides enough value immediately.
Okay.
That's it. That's basically it.
Okay, I see it. I see it. But I think that with the commander that has affinity for planeswalkers, this would go nicely there. If you make the commander sacrifice creature whatnot base, I think it would make a lot of sense. And this is just me going, just bangering around. Okay, so we have 2 mythics and a rare. JP, which one do you want to take?
I'm gonna take Kellen.
Yeah.
Kellen, Inquisitive Prodigy. He's 2 green and a white. Legendary creature, Human Fairy Detective. He has Flying Vigilance. Whenever Kellen Inquisitive Prodigy attacks, destroy up to 1 target artifact. If you control that permanent, draw a card. He also has the Adventure. Tail the Suspect. Blue and a green for a sorcery adventure. Investigate. You may play an additional land this turn. Note: when you play Tail the Suspect, you get your token, and you get to play additional land. So now you can play this on curve. You have a turn 2 for the Tail the Suspect, turn 3 for a Kellen. And when Kellen attacks, you get to sacrifice that same clue token you did in the Investigate to draw a card. This is I really like that this is a very complete package in terms of what it wants to do, what it can do. It is very simple, it's straight to the point. In addition to that, the first Kellen was red-white. The second Kellen was white-green. This one is green-blue. Next one will be blue something else.
I got one
I'm
question,
assuming blue black.
JP. If this is your commander, you can cast the adventure in the command zone, correct?
Yeah,
You can?
yeah.
Oh, that's
Cast
dope.
You can cast it for him as your commander. You pay 2 mana, cast the Tail the Suspects, then cast him. If he dies, you send him back to the command zone, and I'll tell the Suspects is 4 mana. But then he'll be in the adventure on an adventure, so you can cast Kellen himself for 4 mana again. So you can tell the Suspect twice, and still won't be more than 4 mana.
Holy cow, that's dope as heck. I did not know that. Whoa. Here you learn new things, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one. Is Aurelia's Vindicator is 2 and 2 white creature angel. Has flying, lifelink, and ward 2, and has disguise X3 and white. When Aurelia's Vindicator is turned face up, exile up to X other target creatures from the battlefield and or creature cards from the graveyard. When Aurelia Vindicator leaves the battlefield, return the exiled cards to their owner's hand. And it's a 4/2.
So
what does Disguise do? That's the only mechanic that I haven't read yet.
Okay, Disguise is morph. You pay
okay.
3 mana. You pay 3 mana. You put it face down as a 2/2 creature, but it also has ward 2.
The creature has ward 2?
The disguise, if you pay a disguise cost, it'll be a 2/2 colorless creature with ward 2.
Oh, that's the token that I saw yesterday. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I dig it.
So,
I dig it.
Next card. Etrata Deadly Fugitive. 1 blue and a black for a legendary creature vampire assassin 1/4 death touch. Face down creatures you control have 2 and a blue and a black. Turn this creature face up. If you can't exile it, then you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to an opponent, cloak the top card of that player's library. I do not know what cloak does, but I am assuming it is you put it face down as a 2/2, 2/2 with ward 2, on your side. If it's not a creature, then you can't turn the creature face up, so you just cast the spell.
Okay, interesting.
This is very strong.
Yeah,
this is very, very, very strong. Because there's I was reading it just right now. There's an artifact called Scroll of Fate. This is 3 mana artifact. You tap it to manifest a card from your hand. Manifest is being you put it as a 2/2 creature face down, and you can turn it face up for its mana cost. But since you're turning, let's say, Enter the Infinite face down, and then you pay 4 mana to flip it. Oh look, it's not a creature. I get to cast it without paying its mana cost. And that's quite strong because that's an 11 mana card.
Yeah. No, Omniscience, man.
You could cast Omniscience, yes.
Omniscience, dude. I was just thinking about it.
You can have Omniscience, Enter the Infinite, extra turn spells. This thing is very, very good.
This thing is bonkers, yo. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think this would be my next commander. It sounds so interesting to build.
It is very much also reminiscent to what I was mentioning. This is a morph commander that cares about morphs.
Yo, wait.
You can turn them face up for 4 mana.
This card can go nice with Bola Citadel, because if you do have the card that you just mentioned, if you want to play like cards that you don't want to like turn face up, you can just cast them for your life and keep looking.
But yeah, you can do that. Bola Citadel is just a busted card in general.
Yeah, I completely agree. Bola Citadel is just busted as heck. Okay, so let's go for the next one. Let's see. Which side do you want to take? Do you want to take the green side, or you want to take the Boros and Swamp side?
Let's take the Boros and Swamp, considering that's the colors I play a lot.
Okay, so I'll start. I'll do these two first, and then you'll go. So the first card is Trostani 3 Whispers, is green, hybrid green, white, and white. Legendary creature Dryad. It's a 4/4 and has 3 activated abilities. First one is 1 and green. Target creature gains Death Touch until end of turn. The hybrid green and white, target creature gains Vigilance until end of turn. And then the last one is white and 2. Target creature gains Double Strike until end of turn. And the text says Tangled In the heart of V2 Ghazi, they guard their secret from eager ears. It is a very interesting card. Tristani, I've seen Tristani in other cards as a token maker, but this time it provides different abilities to the creature, and that's really interesting. Really, really interesting. The next,
Before that, there's only a few certain cards. There's very like a handful of cards that can give first strike and death touch. That have first strike and death touch, and this just gives what is
Double
basically first strike when you block and death touch, which is absolutely crazy.
for a simple cost of 5 mana, your creature will kill another creature, even though it's a 1/1. Next card is Tulsimir. Midnight Light is 2 green, white, white. A legendary creature, Elf Scout. A 3/2 with lifelink. When Tulsimir Midnight's Light enters the battlefield, create Voja, Fenstalker, a legendary 5/5 green and white wolf creature token with trample. Whenever a wolf you control attacks, if Tulsimir attacked this combat, target creature an opponent controls blocks that wolf this combat if able. So this is mostly for wolf tribal, and it's very interesting because I think that there is one of the new wolves that is more high on the high top. It combines with this, so it's very interesting. So JP, you continue with the other 2 cards. Let me go ahead and disappear for a second, like that I can provide something to my wife. Okay.
Okay. Now we got Massacre Girl, Gnome Killer. She's 2 black black. She is a 4/4 for legendary creature, Human Assassin. She has Menace. Creatures you control have Wither, which is quite interesting. And whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. Did I do it? You'll have to be more specific. That's a good flavor text for her. A lot of people were excited for this one. You play Hapatra, she gives -1 counters, and a creature dies because its toughness was less than 1 because of -1 counters being a state-based action on a 0/0. So a 0/0 will die. You will draw a card. Yawgmoth goes well with this. Toxic Deluge goes well with this. Black Sun's Zenith goes well with this. There's so many cards that go well with this. She's very good. All you have to do is with those board wipes, you got to be a bit more careful to not just kill your own Massacre Girl. And then we have Agris Kos, Spirit of Justice, 2 red and a white for a 2/4 legendary creature, Spirit Detective, double strike Vigilance. Whenever Agris Kos, Spirit of Justice enters the battlefield or attacks, choose up to 1 target creature. If it's suspected, exile it. Otherwise, suspect it. This is a limited card if I've ever seen one. This is the bomb-ass card. You just play this, attack, suspect something, next turn, that's gone. Even before you deal the damage, you find a way to protect him. You're going to remove a lot of cards very, very quickly. This is very, very good for limited. I am not a fan of this for other formats. Suspect is quite slow. That's why maybe it could work in Commander in the Suspect, like the Boros commanders that's coming out in this set. But otherwise, it is a very good limited card.
Amazing. So let's go ahead and go. Here are 4 other rare cards. We have one of the cards that are going to be like in the promo section. No, this is not the one. My bad. I mistaken it with one. So JP, which side do you want to take?
I'm gonna take the right side because I really want to talk about Kylox.
Okay, so you go ahead. You go first.
So Kylock's Visionary Inventor, 5 blue and a red for legendary creature, the Ashino Artificer, and he's a 4/4. It has Menace, Ward, and Haste. Ward 2. When Kylock's Visionary Inventor attacks, sacrifice any number of other creatures, then exile the top X cards of your library, where X is their total power. You may cast any number of instant and/or sorcery spells from among the exiled cards without paying their mana cost. The reason I thought about this was immediately, if you could have a few, let's say you want to exile the top X, and you want high power, and there's a few stuff you could do to copy other creatures and have multiple copies and multiple creatures, and just if you have an opponent that has a big creature, you can play clone effects. That's not the thing I was really excited about. The thing I was excited about is if you play this, you attack immediately, you sacrifice your board to get a very big X for this. You start exiling the top cards of your library, and you're gonna fill your deck with either extra turn spells, threaten effects, or extra combat spells. Because if you you steal your opponent's creatures, and then to get an extra combat, so you attack again, you sacrifice their creatures, and do it again, and then try to do it again, and again and again and again, and that sounds hella fun. Problem is, he's 7 mana. And that's quite restrictive.
Yep.
The other thing is case of the ransacked lab. 2 in a blue. It's a enchantment case, so it's one of the new types. Instant and sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast, and to solve it, you need to cast 4 or more instant and/or sorceries at the beginning of your next in your turn. And at the beginning of your next answer, it becomes solved, and when it becomes solved, it gains the ability whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. So to solve a case, you need to fulfill the condition, and once it's solved, you get this second ability.
That's very interesting. This is very interesting way to make go on theme. So now we're gonna go ahead and with one of the main characters, or one of the suspects of this case is Krenko, Baron of Tin Street. Is 2 and red, legendary creature goblin, 3/3 with haste. Has tap, sacrifice an artifact, put a 1/1 counter on each goblin you control. Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 1 red. If you do, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. It gains haste until end of turn. This is very interesting. Obviously, this card can be your commander, if anything, or it could be on the 99 if you are a Krenko deck that runs artifacts. I like it for I would say that it is an interesting card for standard. It would be interesting because it's just tap, sacrifice an artifact. I think that there might be a way that you can do this in your advantage, right? At the end of the turn of your opponent, tap it, sacrifice an artifact, all of your goblins gain a counter, and if by any chance you don't have a goblin, you can pay 1 and create a goblin. So there's like a win-win situation here with Krenko. Then we have an Anthem card. War Leader's Call is 1 red and white enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, War Leader's Call deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then the flavor text is, while Aurelia mustered the Boros Legion, Kaya and Kellen raced against the clock, desperate to stave off a war the guilds might not survive. And it's a story spotlight card, so that's something that we're getting as well on this set. Story spotlight cards. Okay, let's move to the next
it's
one.
Impact Tremors with an Anthem.
Exactly.
That's pretty good.
And it's pretty, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You got my words.
I have a gripe with the Krenko. It's not the one that I have the real problem with, but I do have a problem with Krenko.
You do?
Why does he care about artifacts?
I know,
This is
right?
what I was saying, and this is what I was saying about them leaning too hard into the theme. The deck, the set is clues, and I get that it's like it's a mystery, and you have a lot of clues, and so having a way to sacrifice the clues for an additional value, in addition to just drawing cards with the innate ability of a clue, is like it's interesting. But why would you staple it on a very recognizable character that has nothing to do with artifacts? He's never had done anything to do with artifacts. All he's always cared about was either his power with the Kingpin of the Tin Street Kingpin. I always have problems saying that word.
Yeah.
Kingpin, Tin Street Kingpin, where he got bigger and he attacked and made goblins, or the one that just tapped and made goblins. He cares about making goblins. Why does he care about sacrificing goblins now or pumping them?
I know.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That's what when I saw it at first, I was like, why? Like, why sacrifice? Why sacrifice artifacts? Does not make sense. But hey, let's keep in theme, I guess. So we got three rares here.
The two on the right.
The two on the right. So I'll do mine very quickly. Is Axebane Ferox, is 2 and 2 green creature beast. Death Touch Haste, has ward that says the word is collect evidence 4, and the ability is whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability and opponent controls, counter it unless that player exiles cards with a total mana value 4 or greater from their graveyard, and it's a 4/4. I like it. It's interesting. It has haste and death touch.
It's a green beater. Yeah, it's a green beater.
It's questing beast. It's questing beast, dude.
It's fixed questing beast.
Yeah, it is. It's a fixed questing beast. Yes, literally.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm gonna start with Izoni first.
Okay.
Izoni, center of the web, 4 green and a black, legendary creature, elf detective, 5/4, menace. Whenever Izoni, center of the web, enters the battlefield or attacks, you may collect evidence 4. If you do, create 2/1 black and green spider creature tokens with menace and reach, and the ability to sacrifice 4 tokens, surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. You gain 2 life. So previous Izoni was pay 2 mana, sacrifice a creature, draw a card, gain a life. This is 4 tokens in general. Surveil 2, then draw 2, then gain 2. So this is reasonably costed. The other Izoni was a 2/3. This is a 5/4. This has an additional ability. You can see the slight power creep. I'm gonna point this out. She is an elf detective, right? And she's collecting evidence. Okay. I just pointed that out. Let me go to the next one. Teysa, opulent oligarch. 1 white black for a 2/3 legendary creature, human advisor. She has death touch. At the beginning of your end step, investigate for each opponent who lost life this turn. Whenever a clue you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. This ability triggers only once each turn. Why? Why does she care about clues? It makes no sense. She isn't even a detective in the card of her isn't even a detective. She is one of the most iconic Ravnica creatures in the lore. She literally manipulates Jace to getting her bidding done. Like she's so important to the story, and she dies in the story. There's a card with her dead. This is her last card, possibly, and it's this shit. She's one of my favorite characters.
Talking about the cards right there,
and she's this shit.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I don't understand.
I'm so disappointed.
I don't understand why. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay. I was reading something in the TikTok. The message pop out again, and it's just a message that starts with the when you start the live. So, Teysa, I love Teysa. Like, it's one of the cards that I actually do like. And when she got back in Ravnica Allegiance, I think it was, that was the card that I used to play in Standard. Didn't win no tournaments with that one, but it was still fun. You know, just to make a lot of tokens was super fun. But this, why? No, Watsy. This is not what Teysa should be. And sadly, you killed her. Really? Come on. With deadly compliance. Jesus.
Honestly, I was expecting her to come back, maybe as a spirit, but we haven't had any confirmation or anything to do with that. I mean, she's like 100 and something years old, so I was expecting her to have a failsafe for when she died. But
okay, so we have a couple of uncommons. Here is a mysterious creature. This is the token that you will use for the disguise mechanic. So let's keep.
There is one card that we need to talk about.
Which one?
That is uncommon. It's Crime Novelist.
Oh yes, this card is bonkers.
Tuna red for a creature, Goblin Bard, 1/3. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a +1 counter on Crime Novelist and add a red. Why do we have a 3-mana Goldspan Dragon?
I don't know.
Goldspan Dragon famously attacks and makes a treasure, but then treasures can tap for 2 mana. This is just half of that. And this is stupid. Technically speaking, this could even get bigger than Goldspan. This could be huge. A lot of people were talking about this card for like in CDH, maybe as a backup to either Bergie for mono red reach loops, which is a thing. But I don't feel like it'll be relevant in that. I feel like this is a good card in general for just you happen to do a lot of.
Yeah, you do the combo with that combo with whatchamacallit card
the Underworld Breach Loop?
No, the card that gives you the red card that gives you treasures for the artifacts and enchantments. I forgot the name.
Dockside?
Dockside, yes. You know that there's like a loop that you can keep copying or making copies of Dockside?
Yeah, no, there's several. Dockside is a broken card. There's several cards that go crazy with Dockside.
Yeah, but I would just say like it would be good, like let's say that, you know, you have a bajillion treasures and here you go. I sacrifice a bajillion treasures and I attack you. I don't know, just crazy ideas. Okay, let's go ahead. There is one rare here.
You take it.
I'll take it, no problem. Analyze the Pollen is 1 green sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may collect Evidence 8. So it's exile cards with a total mana value of 8 or greater from the graveyard. You search your library for a basic land card. If evidence was collected, instead search your library for a creature or land card. Reveal that card and put it in your hand. It's okay, I would say.
Someone mentioned, I was like, oh my god, it's the second coming of Worldly Tutor. It's not.
No.
It's not. Like, I'm pretty sure...
You have to collect Evidence 8.
Traverse the Ulvenwald is a lot easier to do. Just have Delirium.
Yeah, I agree. Jesus, bad. Muy malo.
The next card is a reprint.
Assassin's Trophy.
Yeah, green and black instant, destroy target permanent and opponent controls. Its controller may search their library for a basic land and put it into battlefield. Then shuffle. It's nice. Give us a new art. I'm probably maybe getting this one full art borderless, because I saw one a borderless art and I like that art more than
the original one.
No, there's a double masters one that has a full art borderless.
There's a secret layer as well.
Yeah, but I don't. I like this one. This one.
Okay.
I like this one more. This is the one I like the most.
Okay. I understand. Okay, so we have a counter that I want to talk about. This counter, I really do like it. It's No More Lies. These are going to be the 3 promos. Crawl, Whipcracker, Long Goodbye, and No More Lies will be the cards that will be available in the promo packs that you win when you go to your local game store, or they gift them to you if you do go to like an event or something. But Normal Lies, I like it. It's a white and a blue. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. I like it. It's a very interesting counter. If you are somebody that plays a lot of counters, this is a great card. I like it because it's only 2 mana, and even though it does have that the controller pays 3, but when you're gonna use it, you're gonna make sure that your opponent does not have mana, or if you want them to just use the mana like that, they can't do anything else on that turn. It's a very interesting card. So JP, now we're not gonna go ahead and talk about each one of them, but let's talk about them in general. So we're getting all the lands with their land types, and they have Surveil 1. They do enter tap, so this is a better, I would say, a better version of the Scry lands. What do you think about
correct.
these?
These are very good, especially like these are gonna be the best when you end of turn fetch for them.
Yes.
You end of turn fetch for them. They'll come into play tapped. You're gonna Surveil 1. Those are gonna be very, very good for them, for those situations. I really like this. Domain, if I'm not mistaken, is staying in standard, so this could also be very good for that.
I like them.
So
when
I really like them.
This is the odd part. Usually we don't get the land previews until almost the end of preview season, and this time we got them really early. Why? I don't know, but I like them. Since they presented them yesterday, I was like, wow, these lands are amazing. So if you can get them while they're cold in a good price, go ahead and do it. Do not do it in pre-order season. I don't know if they're expensive in pre-order season, but just pay attention for the prices. Get a couple of uncommons, and we have two rares and 2 mythics. 2 of them are the ones that are promos.
I'll take the 2 rares.
You take the 2 rares? Okay.
We have Homicide Investigator, which is 1 in a black for a 2/2 creature human detective. Whenever one or more non-token creatures you control die, investigate. This ability triggers only once each turn. So if something dies, you're gonna get a clue token. This is I feel like this is a very well designed card. Just 2 mana, 2/2, make a clue token that sacrifices for 2, then you draw a card. I like this a lot. And then Sharp-Eyed Rookie, 1 in a green for a 2/2 creature human detective, vigilance. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if its power is greater than Sharp-Eyed Rookie's power, or its toughness is greater than Sharp-Eyed Rookie's toughness, put a +1/+1 counter on Sharp-Eyed Rookie and investigate. So this is basically Evolve, but cares about toughness as well and makes you investigate. so it could be just technically strictly better evolve. This is gonna be good in a green stompy deck.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Agree. So let's go for the next two cards. So these are going to be pre-release like promo cards that will be that you will be getting them in your pre-release probably. So we got Melek Reforged Researcher is 3 and Izzet, that's red and blue. Legendary creature, weird detective. Melek Reforged Researcher's power and toughness are each equal to the twice the number of instants and sorcery cards in your graveyard. The first instant or sorcery spell you cast each turn costs 3 less. This cards, I think that somebody posted them in our chat that people are like against these cards being part of the pre-release because they are kind of bonkers in limited format, I would say.
In that case, just print them as set booster exclusive.
Mhm.
Like, really, why'd you have to make them more exclusive than they already need to be?
Exactly.
Like, they're gonna be you're gonna only find them in pre-release. So you might get them foil, you might not get them foil. I don't even know if they even come out in foil. That's for one, because I know
question,
the Dominaria ones. Was it Dominaria? Back in no, it's not Dominaria. It's the March of the Machines ones could come in foil. So I'm assuming these can come in foil. But why already make them so exclusive? I don't understand why.
Me neither.
People are just like I don't like that, because it used to be whatever you open in a pre-release box you can play,
Mhm.
and that even included like Masterpiece and like the
Invocations.
conventions, invocations, the lands. You could do all that stuff. So why did these have to be different? Those were broken. Like,
Mhm.
I don't understand.
I completely agree. Next card is Tomik, Wielder of Law, is 1 white and black legendary creature. Human advisor, has affinity for planeswalkers, flying vigilance, and then it says whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or planeswalkers you control, that opponent loses 3 life and you draw a card, and it's a 2/4.
Tomik is nice that he has affinity for planeswalkers and is it's a 1 colorless mana, because it's funny because him and Razorek are a couple.
Oh,
That's why he has affinity for a planeswalker, for 1 planeswalker.
Jesus. Okay, so
I'll take the right side.
you'll take the right side. You'll take.
Yeah, because I don't want to talk about Voja.
You want to talk about Voja?
So, yeah, Voja, Jaws of the Conclave.
Okay, I'm gonna
2
be right
red,
back.
white, and a green for a 5/5 legendary creature wolf. She has Vigilance, Trample, Ward 3. Whenever Voja, Jaws of the Conclave attacks, put X +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of elves you control. Then draw a card for each wolf you control. Voja is busted. Melek is good. Tomik is okay. Voja is busted. Masswood Nexus is a card that makes like everything basically a changeling. Everything has every creature type. You just buff all your creatures for the amount of creatures you have, and then draw a card for each one. That is busted as shit. The fact that she costs 5 mana for a 5/5 with 3 abilities, and then the additional like 3 keywords, and then the ability. The Ward 3 is crazy. Ward 2 is already a lot to pay. Ward 3 is actually crazy. It's one of probably the most pushed card in the set so far. Since John still not back, I shall continue with the next ones. Because right now we have that black card in the text with the mythic with 3 black and triple black. It's Bloodline Ripper. 3 black for a creature vampire assassin. It has flying with, again, ward. The ward is sacrifice a creature. And whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. It's an upgraded Blood Artist. Kind of. Although, Blood Artist does target. Zulaport is probably better since it doesn't target for specific reasons, but it's fine. Then the next card is Steam Core Scholar. 2 and a blue for a creature, Detective Weird, Flying Vigilance. When Steam Core Scholar enters the battlefield, you draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards, unless you discard an instant sorcery or creature with flying. This is probably one of the biggest limited bombs I could think of. It's card advantage, a flying beater, it's reasonable on curve. I mean, maybe not a bomb, but it's like one of the best limited things I could think of. It's card advantage evasion on a body. So, like in damage on a body with evasion is always going to be very good. I do want to say that looks like the Detective Weird looks so damn funny with it's just electric energy, like steam energy with a top hat. Like maybe that's like a fedora.
I'm so
That's
sorry.
funny.
I'm so sorry for everybody that will eventually watch us on YouTube. If you have reached this part of the podcast, if you see me leaving a lot, it's because I have a son. And my son is not a normal son. He kind of cuckoo in the head. So if you see me, it's because my wife is like, help me, literally. Okay, did you read the 2 Japanese cards?
Yeah.
Oh, Chinese cards, my bad. They're
Yeah.
Chinese. Okay, so that's the end of January 16th. That was yesterday. Now we're going to go ahead and go quickly with today's the cards for today. So
Yeah.
do you want to take the red one or the black one?
The red one.
Okay, I'll go ahead and read the black one. So, Case of the Stash Skeleton is 1 and black. When this case enters the battlefield, create a 2/1 black skeleton creature token and suspect it. It has menace and can't block. To solve, you control no suspected skeleton. Then, if you do solve it, you have to pay 1 in black, sacrifice this case, and search your library for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Activate only as a sorcery.
This is one of the best cases, I think.
I completely agree because, okay, and this is just because I'm thinking more in the commander sense. Because you will have a body, and then you would just need to make sure to sacrifice that skeleton. But if you are playing mono black, probably you are playing a commander that does sacrifice, has a sacrifice engine. So if by any chance, let's say turn 1, what's the card's name? Vizier Seer that costs 1 mana.
Viscera Seer, yeah.
Yeah, it costs 1 mana and you can scry when you sacrifice a creature. So let's say turn 1 Vizier Seer, turn 2 Case of the Stash Skeleton, and then you can do this on your end step or in the next or your next turn when you solve it.
No, it has to be only as a sorcery, so it has to be your turn.
Okay, so let's say that next turn, probably like turn 3. Yeah, turn 3 or turn 2. You can solve the case, and turn 3 you can go ahead and tutor. That would be great. Tutor for something that you need, or tutor for a combo. let's say that you have already that combo piece on your hand, and this will help you out to look for that last piece. It's not a bad card. It's one of the best ones out there.
And then we have Pyrotechnic Performer. 1 in a red for a creature via Shino Assassin, 3/2. You have Disguise, and it's just 1 red to undisguise it. If you remember that Disguise is, you pay 3 to make it a 2/2 with Ward 2, and then you can turn it up face up anytime for its Disguise cost. Very similar to Morph. Whenever Pyrotechnic Performer or another creature you control is turned face up, that creature deals that much damage to equal to its power to each opponent. This card is what probably makes the commander, like the flip commander from this set, gonna be very, very good. Flipping a 7/7 and burning everyone for 7, and then maybe even hitting someone for 7. That's a 14 life swing on one person, then 7 additional on 2 other people.
How about
that's
flipping
a lot of damage?
How about flipping a Blightsteel Colossus?
Yeah, like it's a lot of damage. Also,
Jesus.
Yeah, that creature deals damage equal to its power.
Yeah.
That creature is dealing damage, so if you flip a Blightsteel Colossus, it is dealing the damage. It'll deal 11 to every opponent, and it's infect.
Jesus, this is broken as heck.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is very good. Damn. Jesus. Okay, let's see. We only have 1 rare here.
1 rare. Yeah. Assemble the players, 1 in a white. Enchantment. This is a very, very good enchantment.
Yeah.
You may look at the top card of your library anytime. Once each turn, you may cast a creature with spell with power 2 or less from the top of your library. That is so good.
That is so good. Yo, I like it. I like it. I think that
giving white card advantage. I love this, especially with the next card you're gonna talk about.
Yeah, I like this card. It's very interesting. Especially if you're like I'm gonna say it. If you're fish, this is your card. He's gonna love it. So let's go ahead and look good for the next one. It's a mythic. It's Delnay. Streetwise Lookout is 2 and white. Legendary creature, human scout. Creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. If an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time, and it's a 2/2. So yeah, this card with that card, no, that's stupid. That's stupid value. Jesus. Wow. Stupid value. I damn. Okay, here we have a mythic and a rare. Which one do you want?
The next one, I'll take the ones on the right. So, Intrude on the Mind. 3 blue. Instant. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library and separate them into 2 piles. An opponent chooses one of those piles, put that pile into your hand, and the other one into your graveyard. Create a 0/0 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying, then put a +1 counter on it for each card put into your graveyard this way. And that's a mythic, really?
Yeah, that's a mythic, bro.
I mean, it's giving you card advantage in a creature, but that's a dud mythic if I've ever seen one.
I agree. Yes, it is.
Meanwhile, the rare you're gonna cover is really, really good.
Yeah, Unyielding Gatekeeper is 1 and white. Creature, elephant, cleric with disguise. It has disguise for 1 and a white. Obviously you have to pay 3 to play it face down, but when Unyielding Gatekeeper is turned face up, exile another target non-land permanent. If you controlled it, return it to the battlefield tap, otherwise its controller creates a 2/2 white and blue detective creature token, and it's a 3/2. Can I say that I love the card? And this card, I will tell you now that this card will be used in standard. It's a 2-drop 3/2 body that if you're not gonna use it in early game, you can go ahead and have a 2/2 body with ward, and then for 2 mana you can exile something. If it's yours, it's fine. You can put it tap. You can if you control it, it returns to the battlefield tapped. So technically speaking, you flicker it. If it's not, you give a 2/2. You can exile a non-land permanent and provide a 2/2 creature to your opponent, and that's fine because you're exiling probably a big creature. You're exiling probably an enchantment that is bothering you, or an enchantment that has something that you need that they removed at the beginning of the game. So I like it. I really do like it. It's really not a bad card. I'm not gonna lie. What do you think?
I really like it. Yeah, it's just generally good.
Yeah, let me go ahead and
Versatility.
refresh the page just in case if there has any new ones have come out. For what I see, nope. Let me go ahead and go to magicspoiler.com just in case if there's anything new, because normally at this hour there's no more spoilers. We would need to wait until tomorrow, and for what I see here, nope. One of the other things that we can at least mention, but before we mention it, right? So there's no new cards available. No new cards have been provided tonight. But JP, what do you think about the set now? I know that we're still missing like a whole 2 weeks more of previews, but what do you think about the set?
So I really liked the direction, but also hate how heavily the clue the clue ideas have been like flowing. The thing is, like, I'm just very sad how they murdered Teysa and gave her a shit card, and then Krenko also has a shit card. Like, no, actually, Krenko's card is actually very good. The problem is, like, lore wise, why would he care about
artifacts?
Why would he care about artifacts? He cares about making tokens. They just made him into another artifact commander.
Mm-hmm.
You have so many of those. He could have been a bit more interesting. Some cards are very flavorful. Some cards aren't. I like the set. I feel like it's very well balanced, even with all my critiques of it.
I agree. I agree with you. I like the new mechanics. The new mechanics are very interesting. I hope that this can, like, I think that a couple of sets are already leaving when this set comes in. So I do hope that this brings a new standard, right? I hope that it brings a new standard, and I'm super excited about it. I would recommend, if you guys are planning on getting the Clue edition, make sure to not pre-orders are super high in price, so make sure to check your local game store that they can get it for a reasonable price, unless not all of them, but some local game stores, you know, JP, that they go ahead and put the price tag that's on the interwebs, so they might post the price in a higher price. But if you can get it on the MSRP, that even though it does not exist, but if you can get it on the MSRP, you're getting a good deal for a bang for your buck, like I would say. I'm excited for this set. I'm very intrigued on this set. I really do think that it will get me to build a different style of commander, because I really do like, to play with different styles. Is something that I really do like to do. But I'm super excited. I'm super excited about this set. I'm super excited as well of the Raining Cats and Dogs commander. Those flip cards are very, very cool. I think that we are getting, I think it's on the 19th of this week, we're getting more previews of that Secret Lair commander deck. So yeah, I'm in. I want to discover who murdered who in the Karlov Manor. The who's who. So JP, I actually had a question for you, and it just slipped my mind. Dang it. It slipped my mind. So yeah, it slipped my mind. Sorry. Yeah, I had it there and it went poof. So
It's okay.
yeah,
You'll remember for next time.
I'll remember for next time. So for everybody that joined us tonight, thank you very much for joining us here at TikTok. Remember to follow us on TikTok, like that you guys can be up to date on anything and everything Magic related. Preview season has started, so we're gonna continue providing you the previews on our TikTok, and as well, I think it's not this episode, we usually do our top 3 when the set is fully previewed. So pay attention, like that you can see what are the top 3 cards from each and one of us from the cast of Cardboard Cave. So JP, where can the people find you?
You can find me here talking about cardboard. Expensive cardboard. How about you, John?
So you can find me anywhere as realinfilms. I was gonna say .com, but Real In Films, as well as my website Real In Films, where I do movie reviews and interview a lot of people. The most recent interview is that I interviewed the executive production designer from the film Trolls Band Together. The film that came out last year, 2023. That is the most recent interview that I made these past weeks. So if you guys want to check out and learn about the origin of the inspiration on how Trolls was made and his journey as a 3D animator coming from Mexico, go ahead and check us out in Real In Films. Like that, you guys can go ahead and see that interview. You can follow Orengo. He does movies as well. You can look for his IMDb, and as well in Cinemas podcast. Christopher, you can see him sometimes in his Twitch channel, Crisscross13. He sometimes goes ahead and does content for that. So just one more time, don't forget, follow us, like our content, and we're going to give you more content, and this will be available for you in audio and video format tomorrow at noon. So we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Peace.